Hey loves, for today's video I am going to be doing a second trimester pregnancy update. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Erica. I'd love for you to consider subscribing, and if you are a returning watcher, welcome back. So for today's pregnancy update, I have a feeling it's going to be a long one just because there's been so many things that have been going on, a lot of new things that have been happening, new since my last update, and also like completely new from this pregnancy. If you don't already know, this is my second pregnancy. I have a 2-year-old daughter, and I'm currently, so every Friday I turn a new week, and today is Wednesday, so I'm 28 weeks right now, but once this video is uploaded I'll probably be 29 weeks pregnant, and I believe the third trimester starts at 28 weeks. So I'm officially dipping my toes into the third trimester, and oh my god, let me tell you guys, I am definitely feeling it. It's just been a crazy ride. This pregnancy is so different than my pregnancy with my daughter. So yeah, I'm gonna be telling you guys everything that has been going on, like seriously everything, even the little weird things that people don't talk about that happen during pregnancy, like physical changes. And then I also do want to dive in a little bit more to a topic that's a little bit more emotional. I don't know yet how deep I'm going to get in with you guys, just because I do want to open up, especially for those moms that often feel like they're going through these feelings by themselves, or might feel that they may be the only ones that are experiencing that. It's just good to know that you're not alone, and then two, if it is your first time going through a pregnancy, to understand that these feelings are completely normal. So I'm going to try my best and share what I feel comfortable with, which I think is going to get pretty deep. But anyways guys, I'm going to stop talking. Let's just go ahead and get into this video. And by the way, I do want to say I'm sorry if you guys do hear some background noise. My husband's outside doing some woodwork, so you can kind of hear some machinery out there, so I apologize for that. Hopefully it doesn't bug us too much, but yeah, let's just go ahead and jump right into the video. Okay, I'm gonna start off with a little bump date. So let me show you guys how my bump looks right now. This is how it looks. It's definitely very big and it's out there. I'm feeling very huge and uncomfortable now. This is big. So now that you guys have seen my bump, I actually want to dive into more of like the smaller changes that I've noticed in my body, and then I'll go ahead and get deeper into like the bigger stuff towards the end, because there has been a lot of really like scary things that have happened. So I'll go ahead and expand more on that at the end. If you guys hear that noise, like the squeaking, I promise I am not farting. It's the chair. Two of the biggest things, I feel like a lot of people don't really talk a lot about this. I've seen a few YouTube videos where girls do mention this, but for the most part I feel like if you're talking to your friend or like a family member, they might not tell you these things. So around this time, my nipples start to get very, very dark, like a very dark brown color, and they get huge. They look like freaking salamis, you guys. Not even pepperonis, like full on like salamis. So that's something that happened to me, and I noticed it start happening in the second trimester. The second thing that gets very dark on my body are my armpits, and this is something that kind of makes me feel somewhat insecure, just because I'm more mindful of showing my armpits, because during pregnancy my armpits get really, really dark. It happened to me in my first pregnancy and it's happening to me now, and that's kind of hard for me because I have very, very white armpits, and that's something that I've always prided myself in having very light armpits. Yeah, so that's kind of one of the areas, you know, that gets dark, and it just kind of sucks. But I know that, well, now I know that after I deliver baby, my armpits do go back to normal, but they don't go back to normal right away. I want to say it takes around 3 months for them to go back to normal, but thank God they do. So I'm hoping that this time around they also go back to normal. Another thing that also gets dark in my body is right between my inner thighs, like my upper inner thigh areas get really dark. So that's another thing that it's like, it kind of sucks, but it does go back to normal. I already am naturally, like, have had some darkness down there, but when I'm pregnant it's just more, and I feel like it spreads out a little bit more. But that's one of those other things that do go back to being the same as well. As far as other like physical changes, I kind of started to get that line that you get on your belly. Mine usually goes up all the way up to like around my chest area. I started coming out, but it's not dark. It's like a really light brown color. Other pregnancy, it came up a lot darker and a lot faster, but so far right now I don't really have a line, so that's been different. As far as like the other like little physical changes that I've noticed is my belly. So the skin on my belly is starting to get super itchy, as well as the skin on my boobs, and I have been getting a new stretch marks on my belly so far. Like, as far as I can tell, I already had stretch marks on my breast, but I've had stretch marks even since before I was pregnant, just from weight gain and weight loss. So I have that. But on my belly, I noticed that I'm getting new stretch marks. And I think that has to do with the way that my belly is growing this time. It's coming more out, and I'm definitely a lot bigger. So yeah, I'm a lot bigger. That's okay. So I have stretch marks that are going up to my belly button, and I'm sure they're probably going to get past my belly button as well. I had some before with my daughter, but they were just really low. It was like my vag area and my lower abdomen and on my hips, and this time around I just see them up higher. So yeah, we're dealing with that. That is something new. I'm going to talk about weight gain. So this is, it's really hard for me to talk about this because I feel like I'm actually feeling pretty self-conscious this pregnancy. I didn't feel this way as much my other pregnancy, but this is my second pregnancy, and I did start off this pregnancy being a lot heavier than I did my other pregnancy. I've noticed that my body is changing a lot physically. I'm sure if you guys have been watching our vlogs, you guys have also noticed me put on some weight. Even from the time that I started vlogging until the time that I got pregnant, I put on a lot of weight. And this time around, I weighed 160 pounds when I got pregnant, and that is the weight that I was when I was 9 months pregnant with my daughter. So that was the weight that I was when I delivered Anaya, and that's the weight that I started my pregnancy this time around. And right now I currently weigh 183 pounds. I am 5'1", so obviously you can tell that I've put on a lot of weight, and I think that's been something that's been hard for me because of the physical changes, especially gaining my weight in my arm area and my back. I noticed that with my pregnancies, that's where my weight goes. I also have been gaining a lot of weight on my legs, so I have been getting a lot more cellulite. I've always had cellulite even when I was teeny tiny, like size wise. I've always had it. I've had it all my life, even when I've been super skinny, and I know it's normal and it's okay, and I've learned to be okay with it. But now being pregnant and seeing it more, and it's more prominent, and seeing that extra weight on me, and since I am so short and so little, you can tell, you know, that I have a lot of extra weight. So that's been something that I've been feeling really insecure about. I know after I had Anaya, I got very comfortable. Like in the beginning, I was like, you know what? I am gonna work out, I'm gonna look good, I'm gonna eat healthier, I'm gonna exercise every day. And I was doing that for a while, but then I just got very complacent. And there's just a lot of reasons why I gained weight, but one of the reasons was because I became very complacent, and in my head I was like, well, if I'm gonna have another kid, what's the point of me losing weight, looking bomb, and then getting pregnant again, and then, you know, going back to gaining weight, when I actually really regret that, because I know I probably would have had an easier pregnancy this time around if I didn't have that much weight on me. So I think that's, yeah, been a challenge for me to accept the changes in my body. But I've also talked to myself to be patient, to understand that I am pregnant, and to know, okay, once you have this baby, it is our last baby that we're planning on having. I'm gonna get my butt back in shape. I'm gonna start working out, I'm gonna start eating better, and just be healthier overall. And for me, it's not so much about the number on the scale. It's never really been about that, you guys. For me, it's more about the way that I look and the way that I feel. I want to be able to not feel heavy and bloated all the time. I want to feel healthy and not feel just like this feeling of like heaviness. I can't even explain it, but I feel discomfort, and especially when it comes to picking out my clothes. I can do my hair and do my makeup and I feel so beautiful, but I'll still be like in my robe, let's say, and then I go to pick up an outfit and it doesn't fit me the way that I want it to fit me, or I notice that my clothes aren't fitting me like I expected them to fit, or I look at something like when I'm shopping, I'm like, oh my god, that looks a little too big, but I try it on and sometimes it fits just right, or it's a little too snug still. So yeah, I've been feeling a little more self-conscious in that department, but I know that I'm ready to do something about it now. I'm not gonna get any deeper into that, but yeah, that's kind of how I've been feeling physically this time around. And don't get me wrong, I love my belly. I love it. It's like, that's not even the issue. I think the issue is more of the extra weight that I see on my legs and in my arms, and I just feel like I need to cover my arms. And then I get frustrated because I own so many tank tops and camis and spaghetti strap dresses that I've always loved to wear because I've never felt self-conscious about my arms. But yeah, that's where we are. So now I'm gonna continue the convo. Let's move forward and let me give you guys a few more updates. Okay, so let's talk about my appetite. So this mama has been craving burgers, pizza, wings, all of that. That's my shit. Like, I love all that stuff. In and out, especially, oh my god, I always order a double or a cheeseburger, animal style, with animal style fries and a pink lemonade. And girl, let me tell you, that hits the spot. Like, that is my shit, guys. Like, and then as far as drinks, I actually just like love drinking water with a shit ton of ice. Like, that's what I'm drinking. So yeah, those are like my cravings still. As far as food aversions, foods that I cannot eat, that I am not liking, I hate beans now. I can eat refried beans, but not frijoles de la olla, like whole beans, because girl, when I was going through morning sickness, I remember I had a plate of beans with queso fresco, and then I went and I threw all those beans up. Like I threw all of them up, and like whole beans, you know, like it was disgusting. So I just feel like my mind gets triggered and it reminds me of that memory, and I'm just like, no, I cannot eat beans. So I can't eat beans like that, just refried beans. And also I still don't like eggs. I try to eat eggs because they look appetizing, you know. I make a lot of eggs for Anaya and Robert for breakfast, so I'll be like, okay, well, like, let me not be special and eat what I made for them too. And I'll try, and baby M just plays me. He will be like, no mama, like, you are not having those eggs. And yeah, I'll get sick, like I'll feel like throwing up and I won't be able to eat them. So yeah, still don't like eggs. And I also have little appetite for chicken. I can do meats, but chicken, I'm not really feeling it. Like, me da asco when I see it. It just looks kind of gross to me now. So chicken, I'm very picky about too, unless if it's fried chicken. But even then, I'm kind of like, ugh. Yeah, I guess like chicken products are like a big no for me when I'm pregnant. Another thing, you guys, oh my god, regarding food, acid reflux. It is so bad. I have really bad heartburn this time around, and I think it has to do with the fact that I crave spicy food so much this time. My other pregnancy, no, I just wanted ice cream and I wanted sweets, and this time around it's completely the opposite. I just want everything spicy. So I think it has to do with me just wanting like very spicy and sour food. Actually finally realized that I kept having acid reflux throughout the whole day because I was drinking lemonade, like freshly squeezed homemade lemonade. Like it was giving me acid reflux and it was burning a lot, so I had to cut that off. So yeah, that's been the hard part. I do take Tums when I start to feel it, but it's just really annoying, you guys. Like it ruins my appetite and I'll be like starving, but then I'll feel the acid reflux and it's like, oh, like it ruins my appetite, you know? Like I won't want to eat even though my body is still hungry. So, and like what sucks. But hey, there's a myth that says that if you get a lot of heartburn during your pregnancy, then your baby is gonna be born with a lot of hair. So baby M, baby Matthias is gonna be born with a lot of hair. So now this is where things are gonna get a little bit harder for me. I laugh a lot when I get nervous, or I feel kind of like awkward. And that's because I'm going to talk about a few things that are more personal. The first right now is just kind of like not as personal. So yeah, let me talk about that first. So I have been experiencing contractions, real contractions, not just Braxton Hicks contractions. Like, it's the first time that this has happened to me. I didn't go through it with my daughter at all. I didn't feel contractions up until the week before I gave birth to her, and I started feeling them around 24 weeks. So that was the scary part of just feeling them so soon. And I've been having a lot of pelvic soreness and a lot of pelvic pressure. So the soreness is like pain, like soreness, like pain down there, and it feels like it's right on my bone, like my pelvic or like pubic bone. So that's been hurting a lot. So it hurts when I'm just laying down, when I'm walking, when I'm putting my pants on. Like it hurts so much to just stand on one foot. So I don't know if it has to do with me. Well, I know like a big reason is because it's not my first baby, and I pretty much, you know, your first baby pretty much comes and they do some damage to your body. So I know it's from that, and then also putting on the extra weight, and then just feeling baby be so low. Like I do not feel him in my ribs at all. I feel him all the way on my lower belly. So I know he's really low and, you know, like very deep in there. So that could be one of the main reasons why I feel that soreness. And then I started to feel a lot of pelvic pressure, like if his head is like wanting it to come out. And on top of that, I started to feel some contractions, which was scary. They happened at night and they hurt. They didn't feel like Braxton Hicks. Braxton Hicks, they don't hurt. You can feel the tightening of like the belly and then at the release, but this one, these were painful, like to the point where I was not expecting it, and I got one and I yelled because my camera died and I'm having mommy brain, so I can't remember where I left off. But yeah, I'm having contractions, and I spoke to my doctor and she told me that I need to be getting more rest. And I honestly thought I was getting enough rest because yes, I have a 2-year-old, and that's hard because most of the time I'm home with her just because Robert's schedule, he's not here much, so I don't get a lot of help from him because he's not here and he's not here to help. But on the days where he is off, I do get to rest a little bit more and I get to nap. I think that's one of the biggest differences now being pregnant and having a toddler is obviously I can't rest just whenever I want. I can't take a nap whenever I feel like it, and it's hard to take a nap when your toddler naps. I know if you're a parent, you know what I'm saying, because when they tell you nap when the baby naps or nap when the kid naps, it's not very realistic because you want to try to get other stuff done. At least that's my case. But I kind of realized that I need to slow down and at least just try to rest and put my feet up while she's resting. But at the same time, I feel like there's this mom guilt that goes behind that of getting rest and feeling tired. And it sucks because I do feel a lot more tired throughout the day, mentally and physically, and I feel like sometimes I'm not doing enough as a mom and I'm not spending enough quality time with Anaya like I am used to and like how she's used to. And I feel like that's really hard because I've always had our activities and our days planned out, but ever since one, we're in quarantine, and two, I'm pregnant as fuck, and this pregnancy hasn't been easy on my body. I've been having a lot of pains and my feet hurt all day, every day, and I'm sore down there, and carrying her hurts me, and I'm trying not to carry her much, but at the same time right now, these are the times where I want to hold her and I want to hold and squeeze my baby a little extra because I know this is the last few times that we have together alone. You know, she's my first. She taught me how to be a mother. I learned to be a mother with Anaya, and it just hurts my heart that sometimes I just feel too tired to do any of that stuff, and I just don't want it to affect it. And I know sometimes, like especially recently, I've been a little bit more snappy, more on edge because I'm grumpy, because I'm in pain, because I'm tired, because I want to sleep and I can't. And it's just hard. So yeah, that's one thing that I've been feeling a lot of mom guilt about. So just really taking the time to ask for help when I need it and take the help when I need it, and resting a lot more when I can. I'm doing that because I want to be there for my baby and I want to be happy, and I don't want her to feel like I'm mad at her because that is not the case at all. It's just, you know, this pregnancy. Yeah, so I think it's just was like a reminder too of like when I had those contractions to slow down and to stop and breathe and hold my baby and rest so I can be good for Anaya and be healthy for baby and he doesn't feel my stress, because I know I was stressing my body out and the baby was feeling all that stress. So that's basically why I was having contractions, because I was doing a little too much, and they told me that, my doctor told me that I need to sit a lot more, not be on my feet as much, and not be carrying Anaya or just like very heavy things, because everything else that causes contractions, like preterm contractions, I didn't have high blood pressure. I wasn't dehydrated because I drink a lot of water. Like I said, that's like my beverage of choice is water. And when I'm not pregnant, it's like water, wine, or beer. I'm not much of a, and coffee. I'm not much of a juice girl, so I know I was like keeping my body hydrated, and it was just that I needed to slow down and sit down. So ever since then, I do get them once in a while, but they told me, labor and delivery told me that if I get more than 4, which that night, there was a specific night I'm talking about, I got more than 4. I had around 6 strong contractions within the hours, so that was really scary. But yeah, recently I haven't been feeling a lot of contractions. I'll feel a few, and I'll definitely still feel Braxton Hicks, but yeah, then they won't keep going. It'll just be like a few, so then I'll just go and I'll rest, and then I'll be okay. So yeah, that's kind of the update on that, and I think that's everything that I wanted to update you guys as far as the physical aspect. So now I am going to dive into more of how I've been feeling mentally. I want to talk about it because I want other moms, especially if you are a first time mom watching, or if you're going to be a mom for the second time, second, third, fourth, whatever time, this might actually also help you to not feel alone and to know. Okay, so now I'm gonna get real with you guys. I feel like I start to get early postpartum anxiety / depression, and that's something that's really hard for me to talk about. I wanted to talk about it on my vlogging channel when I first started my other channel, because Anaya was so little, and I definitely went through postpartum depression with her at the end of pregnancy and once I had Anaya. So I don't know if there's another term for this when you're pregnant, but I start feeling my postpartum depression, or like some depression symptoms pretty when I'm later into my pregnancy, about to give birth. Happened to me with Anaya, and it's happening to me with this pregnancy, but every time I would try talking about it, I just would get very emotional, and I feel like I couldn't get myself to talk about it. I would close off myself really quickly. And that's one thing about me. I am a very closed off person in the beginning, and once I get comfortable I will open up, but it's just very hard for me to get to a spot where I feel like I can open up, especially opening up over the internet where people can comment and say whatever they want. People that don't know me and people that do know me that say things behind my back, X, Y, and Z reason. And I know putting your business online can cause this, and it's okay, and I'm willing to maybe, if this gets to someone that has malicious intentions, I'll be okay, because I know that it is gonna help most women. It's gonna do more, it's gonna be more helpful than the whatever hate or judgment that I will get. So I started to feel very gloomy towards the end of my pregnancy, and I don't know if it's the hormones or what it has to do. There's just days where I feel extra emotional and very sad, lonely, and I feel very anxious. When I was younger, I had really bad anxiety. I feel like once I started to get older and learning how to manage my anxiety and cope with it, I got a lot better. But then when it came to pregnancy, it just brought a lot of those feelings back. And yeah, so I have been crying a lot, and I think that the isolation has contributed to that. I started to be in quarantine before there was that stay-at-home order. Right when we heard about COVID-19 and the dangers that it had, and that it was like in San Francisco, like there was a few cases out there, I started to stay home. So I've been staying home for a really long time now, and it's gotten to the point where it's gotten to me, because going out and doing my little grocery runs with Anaya, it would help me get distracted, or my Target runs, or we could go to the park, have a picnic, we could go walk around the mall, go get some ice cream, whatever. It got me out of the house, and just being home with her and having the same routine and doing the same things every day, it gets to you, and you start to feel a certain type of way. And I don't want this to sound like I'm ungrateful, because I'm happy that I get to be with my baby and be a stay-at-home mom and see her grow, and that I know she's in good hands, so I have the comfort of knowing all of that. But at the same time, it doesn't take away from the social isolation that being a stay-at-home mom has on you. And when you have like your schedule, like me having my schedule and having that time where I can go out and get distracted, and then when I'm tired, my body's tired, I was ready to come home, I would come home and it'd be good. But now I don't even get to have that, and it felt like I was going out with Anaya, but I was doing things that I enjoyed, so that felt like I was having my me time. Because as a mom, you need your me time. We need time for us to take care of ourselves and take care of our minds. So aside from isolation, I also feel like I had really bad anxiety in the beginning of this pandemic, because I was scared for my babies. I was scared for Anaya. I was scared for my baby, for myself, and for my husband. The job that he does, it's in a closed environment, so obviously closed buildings, it's more likely for things to spread around quicker. So I was worried about that, and I was actually really scared. I think I was a little, like in the beginning, I was over worried. I was just thinking about everything, and I was thinking the worst, and my hands were cracking because I was washing my hands so much. I already washed my hands a lot, you guys. Being a mom, especially a mom of a toddler, you have to wash your hands so much, so I'm already used to like washing my hands a lot. But I started becoming so anal about that stuff that my knuckles started to crack, and like my skin started to become very rough, because all I was thinking about was like, oh my god, like I'm gonna freaking die, or like what's gonna happen if my kids get this. So yeah, at first I was scared of that. Then I started to think about, oh my god, like how is it going to be when I go into labor? Is Robert gonna get to be there? Am I gonna have to have a C-section because I'm so much bigger, and I feel like this baby is gonna be a lot bigger? And I wasn't a small baby. She was 8 pounds, so she was a little bit more above average. I was a 9-pound baby. I was almost 10 pounds. So I know that runs in my genes. So I know there's a possibility that this little boy can be a lot bigger, and I might have to have a C-section, and Robert might not be able to be in the room. And that kills me. Like, that scares me to death, because my labor with Anaya was so scary and so traumatizing that I couldn't think about doing it alone. He was my rock. I was able to get through my labor because of him. When Naya was born, as soon as she was born and she wasn't breathing, they had to take her to the NICU and they rushed her off. I only got to kiss her goodbye, and her dad went with her, and that was so scary. Thank God my cousin was there, and I love my cousin. She's like my sister. My mom wasn't able to be there because she was actually super sick with the flu, and on top of that she does also have like stuff wrong with her kidneys, and I know she was going through some stuff, so she was like sick from that and then sick with the flu, so unfortunately she couldn't be there. And in my head I was like, okay, well this time around my mom is going to be there. I'll get to have my mom and Robert, and it's just going to be different, you know. I was super grateful for my cousin. Like I said, she's my sister. I love her to death. She did it so good. She did amazing, you guys. Like, she could honestly be a doula. Yeah, so just like my expectations were different, and then having to think and like thinking now I feel like I've kind of come to terms a little bit more, because obviously I understand, and I've always understood that the reason that they're doing things different is to protect baby and the mom and all the other babies in there. So I completely understand that, but it's still just scary and hard to think to like of having to go through that, through labor, which is hard, it's intense, it's emotional. And like Robert possibly having that experience being taken away from him because of all this, it breaks my heart. And it breaks my heart also because I'm not going to have my support partner, you know, or like thinking of the possibility of not having him. But so far it looks like I'm going to be having a vaginal birth, which means he'll get to be there, him or my mom. So it depends when I go into labor, because if he's at work and I'm about to pop the baby out, like this baby's coming now, my mom is most likely going to be in the room with me. But I apologize guys, my camera keeps overheating, so it like keeps turning off. And like I said, I had really bad pregnancy brain that I forget. It's just gonna depend like how I'm laboring. If I feel like I can wait for Robert, then I'll have him wait, but if not, then my mom will be in the room when I deliver. Because at least here in Southern California, delivering at a Kaiser, the way that they're doing it is if you're having a C-section, there's no one else in the room with you, and then if you're having a vaginal birth, there's only one person that can be there, but once that person comes in, they cannot leave at all. So you can't trade spots with someone else, none of that. So we'll see who it ends up being. Hopefully it's Robert, but if not, my mom gets to be there. It'll be equally as amazing. I feel super comfortable with her. I love my mom, she's my mom. And me and her are close, so I would feel comfortable with that decision as well. But obviously, you know, Robert's the dad and he really wants to be there, and I really want him to be there too. Yeah, so I think just all of that has kind of gotten to me, and there's just days that are harder than others because, like I said, I have an understanding of why things are the way that they are. They're for our safety. But it's just hard because I thought I would be enjoying my last pregnancy totally different. I thought I was going to be able to go out and do all of these great things. I was super excited because I'm pregnant in the spring and the summer, and then I was a winter baby, so I was like looking forward to like looking cute, taking all these cute pictures, going to all these really cool places with Anaya and my bump. And you know, it's things changed. Another thing too that got to me was not having a baby shower. I was really excited for that, and it's not so much for the gifts, because this time we're fortunate enough to actually be a lot better financially than I was when I was first pregnant. So I have actually already gotten a lot of stuff for baby M. I actually think we have everything now that we need for him. So if he was to come like tomorrow, which esperemos que no, because we don't want him to come in early, but if he, you know, if he was coming, we have everything that he possibly could need. So that's one thing. So it doesn't have to do anything with gifts, but for me it was, this is going to be my last pregnancy, my last baby shower, and I wanted to have an all-girls baby shower. I didn't want to do co-ed this time because I wanted to just have more of like that girly and like sisterhood bond and just be cute and hang out with my girls, with my cousins, with my primas, with my friends, all of those people that I love, all of those girls that I love in my life. So that was also really hard. So that did get to me. Not gonna lie, I cried to Robert about it because I was really upset. I'm gonna have to go through that, and that all of these experiences that I wanted to experience in my last pregnancy were just taken away. So it's been hard. But I understand why things are the way that they are. And so yeah, and Robert's been really sweet. He's been telling me, you know, babe, like, we don't need any of that stuff. And he's right, we really don't. But it's just like at the end of the day, all that stuff, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't, as long as we have a healthy baby and we're good. If Naya's good, if I'm good, he's good, baby's good. That's all that matters at the end of the day, and that we're safe and that we're healthy and that our loved ones are healthy. So yeah, that's been what's keep giving me a peace of mind. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys because that is how I've felt, and I'm human, and it's okay to have these emotions and feel this way, and it's okay for you to be sad even if you understand why things have to be different this time around. But yeah, moms, if you are pregnant, if you're currently pregnant during this craziness, I applaud you because we're doing the best that we can. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video right here. I know it was probably a pretty long pregnancy update, but I just wanted to give you guys all the raw, all the real, everything that's been happening emotionally and physically as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this pregnancy update. I will be doing a 3rd trimester pregnancy update. Anaya's up. Alright guys, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and then you subscribe to my channel if you are not already subscribed. I'd love for you to become part of the family, and if you have already been a subscriber, thank you so much. I really appreciate your love and your support. Seriously guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you guys for all your love, and you know, whenever you guys send me all your super sweet and kind messages, it really means a lot to me. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye guys.